Many people overspend on household expenses, but cutting costs can be easy with attention and care. Follow these 10 tips to rapidly reduce monthly expenses. Number 1. Cut the cable cord. Network television has gotten worse than ever, with long advertisement breaks and honestly not a lot of content besides sports or news. Most production companies have shifted into the streaming landscape, and that could actually save you hundreds every month. Cable companies had no competition for years and have been up, charging customers for some time with no way for TV watchers to fight back. Now, with so many options at your fingertips, you can finally wave goodbye to those outrageous bills for good. Best of all, streaming services now offer their own live television service as well, complete with sports, news, and more. These plans are often cheaper and also usually offer more value anyway. If you are dragging your feet on cutting the cable cord, this is your sign that it's time to let go and start saving some money. Number 2. Unplug everything when you leave the room. Did you know that your appliances actually continue to run even if they are turned off? It's true, and pretty common actually with televisions, microwaves, toasters, and most other household appliances. That's why it's a good idea to get into the habit of unplugging your electronics when you are done with them, and it could save you a lot more than you think over the course of a year. With the appliances sucking power even when they are off, your electric bill is definitely going to feel the effects, especially if you own a lot of electronic devices. Just like you got into the habit of turning the lights off when you left the house back in the day. Now the name of the game should be unplugging everything when you know you're done with it. Number 3. Invest in smart tech. Smart technology is really becoming popular these days, and devices like Alexa have completely changed the way the home functions. These devices may seem a little pricey at first, but the amount of money you are going to save every month will quickly make up for it. And that's not at all to mention the comfort and ease of use that these products provide. Smart thermometers, in particular, are a really solid investment, and they can even let you control your home's temperature from wherever, even when you're miles away from home. Even just putting your thermometer on a schedule could save you quite the chunk of change, and you won't really notice a difference at all. The really cool thing about smart technology is that it makes up for our lack of attention and is always on the ball when it comes to making the right choice. Whether you manually operate your smart tech or let it run in the background, these devices could help you reduce household expenses a great deal over time. Number 4. Try to do home repairs yourself. Going the DIY route can be challenging for people, but it is also very rewarding and can save you a lot of money. When you go the professional route, you are basically admitting that you are okay spending a lot more money than necessary, and sometimes the job isn't even done the right way. Home repair stuff can be headache-inducing, but it doesn't have to be. Taking your time and doing it yourself can be a really solid experience, and working with your hands can help get your mind off of the day's worries too. Home repair and DIY projects are some of the costliest endeavors you will have to pay for if you go the professional route. But just taking responsibility for your home and doing it yourself can result in some serious returns back into your bank account. Who knows, you may even get good enough to do it as a side hustle for people. Number 5. Consider giving up your parking space. We'll get to that in a second. I have a favor to ask of you. If you like this video so far, please subscribe to the channel. If you live in an urban environment, you may be paying for a parking space. These can be really costly and could have you spending $100 to $200 a month just for parking. This is absolutely ridiculous, but unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot we can do. Your options may be limited, but you don't have to put up with things if you don't want to. If parking isn't all that tight, consider just street parking your car instead of paying through the nose for a mandated spot. If you go this route, you should maybe invest in a dashboard cam so you can dissuade people from hitting you and running off or breaking in. But you could save anywhere from $1,200 to $2,400 a year by shedding the parking space provided to you. Ultimately, this one is up to you though, and if you hate driving around finding a parking space, then maybe you do want to keep the overpriced spot. Like anything, the important thing here is to be skeptical of everything expenditure and push yourself to see what you can and can't justify. Number 6. Go to a dollar store for cleaning supplies or make them yourself. Another expense that tends to sneak up on you is with cleaning supplies, which always seem to be running low. If you go to a big brand store, you may be spending triple what you actually need to. And it's not like the name brand is all that important for an item like this. Instead of forking over extra cash for no reason, you should shop around and look for cheaper options at dollar stores instead. These stores sell almost everything at $1 or less, and that includes floor cleaner, window spray, and anything else you may need for the home. Everyone that uses these cheaper alternatives report back no difference between them and the big brand products, and so you don't really have to worry about a drop off in quality either. If you want to go the extra step, you can also look into making your own cleaning supplies, which will stretch your dollar even further and allow for you to personalize them too. Most homemade cleaning products only need things like vinegar and a few other household ingredients to make too, and so just have fun with it and see what works for you. Number 7. Be careful at the grocery store. No matter how you feel about going to the grocery store, it's hard to deny the temptations that come along with it. That's why the next time you take a trip there, you should treat it more like a war zone than a community shop, and you just might save yourself some money. You've probably heard many of the tips for the grocery store, like making a list before you go or never making the trip hungry, and there's a lot of truth to that advice. Grocery stores are literally designed to make you spend more than you should, and it can be hard to have good judgment if you're craving something. Make sure you go to the grocery store with a clear head and solid idea of what you're looking for. However, and you should leave it with a smile on your face. Number 8. Cook for yourself instead of eating out. Eating out can get expensive fast, and it's not something you want to get in the habit of regularly doing if you can help it. Going out with friends every once in a while is nice, but too often, we can get sucked into these patterns of living that we can't really afford. You could be spending multiple times what you would at home when you decide to eat out instead, and that's not including things like tips and drink expenses too. Do yourself a favor and learn a few recipes that you can easily make after work. It's okay to go out and eat with friends every once in a while, but if you're just going out to avoid cooking at home, you need to break that habit fast before it gets you in trouble. Number 9. Bring drinks from home instead of buying them. We all know that coffee shops cost an arm and a leg for a cup of coffee, but many of us just love coffee too much to care. It doesn't have to be this way at all though, as you can simply make a pot of coffee at home and then bring it with you to work or whatever you have going on. This same kind of thinking can be applied to all drinks in fact, and it is an easy way to save yourself a bit of money. Coffee shops may be nice, but it's definitely not worth the money. Number 10. Use cash instead of cards. When you use credit or debit cards, there are a lot of things that can go wrong when put against cash. Perhaps the biggest drawback, though, is that it can be really hard to picture the money you are really spending when you use a card. This can lead to ballooning expenses, as you don't really have an idea how much you are spending on household items over the course of a month. Using cash is a really smart way to solve this problem, and it allows you to picture more easily just how much is being taken from you on every purchase. You can still use your card on big expenses, but you should try and get into the habit of using cash, at least for a while, to catch yourself before you make a potentially bad financial choice. This strategy can also help you spot trends easier, and it'll just make you feel a little better about how you choose to spend your money and a little more in control too.